There comes a time in your life when you must wake up to the financial truth that's been hiding in plain sight. The average person, yes, I'm talking about you, wastes 3,720 years annually without even realizing it. That's not just money, beloved. That's a vacation slipping through your fingers while you're distracted by the noise of this world. Some of you have been praying for financial breakthrough, while the answer has been within your grasp all along. You've been looking for the million-dollar windfall when God has already given you the wisdom to stop the bleeding from your bank account. Today is your season of reclamation. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, we're taking back what belongs to you through 5 methods so powerful, so transformative. I've kept them reserved until this moment when you were ready to receive them. This isn't about pinching pennies. This is about stewardship of your resources. This is about honoring what you've been blessed with. This is about walking in financial wisdom that changes not just your bank account, but your entire mindset about money. Can you feel the shift that's about to happen in your financial house? Can you sense the restoration that's coming to your wallet? Get ready. Your financial resurrection begins now. Before I release these financial keys into your hands, I need to know you're serious about your transformation. I need to know you're ready to be accountable to this financial covenant. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, not to boost my numbers. I don't need validation from metrics, but because these principles evolve with the economic seasons, and missing one update could cost you hundreds that belong in your pocket. This is a covenant between us. I commit to bringing you financial truth that the world doesn't want you to know, and you commit to applying these principles in your daily walk. Now, let's begin the work of reclamation, the forgotten utility audit, the awakening. Listen to me carefully. While everybody's out here telling you to check your Netflix subscriptions, they've missed the bigger truth. There's a systematic extraction happening in your household that's been designed to prey on your passivity. These utility companies, these Goliaths, have built their empires on the backs of passive customers who don't question, don't challenge, and don't rise up to audit what's rightfully theirs. They've studied human psychology and know that once you set up that automatic payment, you'll likely never review it again. There's a phenomenon, hear me now, called the service level mismatch, affecting 78% of households in this nation. You're paying for premium service while receiving basic delivery. You're financing someone else's abundance while living in your own scarcity. When was the last time you picked up that phone and challenged your bill? When was the last time you exercised your power as a consumer? I'm not just telling you to call, I'm giving you the exact words to say. Listen to this script. I've been a loyal customer for X years, and I've noticed that new customers are receiving rates significantly lower than mine. I value our relationship, but I need to understand why my loyalty is being penalized rather than rewarded. Watch how quickly they adjust your rate. Witness how swiftly they recognize your awakening. But some of you are bound by the spirit of anxiety. Some of you fear confrontation. I'm telling you today that your provision is on the other side of that discomfort. This isn't just about saving money. This is about reclaiming your financial authority. This is about rejecting the systems designed to quietly drain your resources. One phone call, just one, can recover $40, $60, even $120 monthly that belongs in your household. The loyal customer paradox is real. But today you break free from that paradigm. Today you step into your financial birthright. Today you declare, I will not be passive with what God has entrusted to me. Strategic friction and the 72-hour rule. The discipline. There's a force at work in your financial life that most people never identify. It's working against you every single day, siphoning resources from your future, stealing from your children's inheritance. That force is impulse spending, and it's rooted in your neurology. I'm not here to give you some cute budgeting app. I'm here to help you rewire the very pathways in your brain that lead to financial bondage. The stores, the marketers, the algorithms, they've studied your psychology better than you've studied yourself. They've made spending frictionless while saving requires effort. Today we flip that script. Today we deliberately create the friction that protects your wealth. When that spending impulse rises up, and it will rise up, you need a system already in place to combat it. The 72-hour rule isn't just a suggestion, it's your deliverance from financial impulsivity. Every purchase over $50 that isn't a true necessity goes on the 72-hour waitlist, not 24 hours. That's not enough. Not 48 hours. Your flesh can still outlast that. But 72 hours breaks the neurological cycle of desire. Some of you need to hear this truth. That limited time offer is designed to bypass your rational mind. That flash sale is targeting your fear of missing out. But what's the real cost of giving in to that manipulation? What's the real price of surrendering your financial discipline for momentary satisfaction? Create digital moats around your money. Remove those saved credit cards from your accounts. Make spending a deliberate act rather than a reflexive one. Your grandmother knew this wisdom. She had to physically go to the store, physically open her purse, physically count out the dollars. She had built-in friction that protected her resources, set up what I call future decision frameworks, automated systems that force your future self to reconsider what your present self desires. This isn't deprivation. This is liberation. This isn't restriction. This is protection of what rightfully belongs to your future. The same discipline that serves you in your spiritual life will serve you in your financial life. The ability to say "not now" is the seed of abundance that will bloom in your tomorrow. The grocery inversion technique, the revelation. I'm about to challenge everything you've been taught about feeding your household. The conventional wisdom has you backwards, has you upside down, has you planning meals first, then building your shopping list. But I'm here to tell you that approach is draining your financial resources week after week after week. The revelation is this. You've been a consumer when you need to be an inventory manager. You've been reacting to recipes instead of responding to opportunities. Every successful business in America understands inventory management, but somehow we've failed to apply this wisdom to our own kitchens. The adaptive pantry system is your new foundation. Instead of deciding, "I want spaghetti this week," and buying ingredients at full price, you build your meals around what's already in season, what's already on sale, what's already being discounted. This isn't about eating less. This is about eating strategically. There's a counterintuitive math at work in bulk buying that the average mind doesn't grasp. When that rice is 30% off, you don't just buy for this week. You buy for the next 3 months. When those non-perishables hit their lowest price, you're stocking up not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The seasonal algorithms are there for those with eyes to see. Summer produce plummets in price in peak season. Certain items hit their lowest points in predictable cycles, but you've been too busy, too distracted, too caught up in the day-to-day to recognize these patterns that could be saving you hundreds every single month. This requires a psychological shift from being a passive consumer to becoming an active manager of your household resources. This isn't about coupons, though there's nothing wrong with coupons. This is about a complete inversion of your approach. Some of you spend $800 a month on groceries when you could be spending $600 or less for the same quality, the same quantity, just by inverting your approach. That's $2,400 a year back in your pocket. That's a family vacation. That's an emergency fund. That's seed money for your next investment. The grocery store is counting on your lack of strategy. They're banking on your impulse purchases. They've designed the entire store to manipulate your behavior. But today, you step into a new level of financial intelligence that sees through the matrix and reclaims what's yours. Digital energy arbitrage. The innovation. There's a hidden battleground in your financial life that nobody is talking about. While you've been focused on the obvious, there's been a silent drain happening through the very walls of your home, through the very outlets that power your daily life. I'm talking about your energy consumption. But this isn't some tired advice about turning off lights. This is revolutionary, thinking about how to position yourself to benefit from the fluctuations in energy markets that most people don't even know exist. Did you know that electricity rates change throughout the day? Did you know there are peak hours and valley hours, where the same kilowatt can cost you dramatically different amounts? The utility companies understand this, the corporations understand this, but the average household remains in darkness about this reality. You need to understand your unique energy profile. Every household has patterns, has rhythms, has cycles of usage. Some of you are running dishwashers at the highest rate times. Some of you are charging vehicles when you could be paying 40% less by shifting that activity by just a few hours. This is about automated energy shifting. This is about programming your major appliances to run during rate valleys. This is about installing smart plugs that cost $15 but save you $150 over a year. The math isn't complicated, but the implementation requires your attention. The compound effect of minimal adjustments across multiple devices creates a harvest of savings that accumulates day after day, month after month. Your refrigerator, your HVAC system, your water heater, they're all opportunities for reclamation if you have the wisdom to approach them strategically. And don't tell me you're not technical enough. Don't hide behind the excuse of complexity. There are free and low-cost tools designed specifically for those without technical knowledge. There are apps that will alert you to rate changes. There are devices that will make these adjustments for you once they're set up. This isn't about sacrifice. This isn't about living in discomfort. This is about intelligent timing. This is about strategic usage. This is about becoming as shrewd with your energy consumption as you are with your investment decisions. The masses are paying premium rates, while the financially enlightened are paying discount rates for the exact same electricity. Which group will you belong to after today? Which path will you choose now that your eyes have been opened to this hidden opportunity? The insurance reclamation strategy, the unveiling. There's a veil that's been pulled over your eyes, a deliberate confusion engineered by an industry that profits from your bewilderment. I'm talking about the insurance industry and the policies that are draining your bank account while delivering less protection than you believe you have. The hidden psychology of insurance bundling needs to be exposed today. They tell you bundling saves money, but they don't tell you how those bundles often contain overlapping coverages you're paying for twice. They don't tell you how those bundles include protections for scenarios so unlikely that the mathematical value is practically zero. When was the last time you audited your coverage line by line? When was the last time you questioned what each dollar of your premium is actually buying? Most of you have been paying the same increasing premiums year after year, while the actual value of your coverage silently diminishes. There is redundant coverage lurking in your policies. There are protections hidden in your credit cards that you're paying for again through your insurance policies. There are warranties you've purchased that duplicate what your homeowner's policy already covers. You're navigating what I call the coverage illusion, the false sense of security that comes from paying for insurance without understanding its true limits and exclusions. This isn't about increasing risk. This is about eliminating waste. This is about ensuring that every dollar you spend on protection is actually protecting something valuable. 15 minutes. That's all it takes. 15 minutes of focused attention once a year to conduct what I call the insurance reclamation audit. Those 15 minutes save the average household $840 annually. That's $70 monthly that belongs in your account, not in the bloated profits of insurance conglomerates. Some of you have flood insurance in areas where flooding hasn't occurred in 100 years. Some of you have maximum liability coverage despite having minimal assets to protect. Some of you are paying for roadside assistance through your car insurance, through your credit card, and through a separate service. This isn't about going without protection. This is about ensuring that the protection you pay for is aligned with your actual needs. This is about reclaiming the excess that's been taken from you through confusion, through fear, through the complexity that was designed to overwhelm your understanding. Today, you step into clarity. Today, you demand transparency from an industry built on ambiguity. Today, you reclaim what's rightfully yours through strategic discernment of what you truly need versus what you've been convinced to fear. Banking architecture for passive accumulation, the blueprint. There's a system working against your financial prosperity every single day. A system so ingrained, so normalized that most people never question it. I'm talking about your banking architecture, the very foundation upon which your financial house is built. The banking system wasn't designed for your wealth accumulation. It was engineered for their profit extraction. Every aspect of traditional banking, from the placement of the ATMs to the structure of your accounts to the psychological triggers in their apps, has been meticulously crafted to separate you from your money. There is neurological impact in how your accounts are structured. When everything sits in one account, your brain perceives abundance even when danger lurks. When your checking account shows $5,000, your mind says, "I have money to spend," rather than recognizing that $4,000 of that is already committed to bills, to mortgage, to necessities. You need to implement what I call the invisible savings framework. This isn't about willpower. This isn't about discipline alone. This is about designing an architecture that makes saving as automatic as breathing, as inevitable as the sunrise. Multiple targeted accounts. Automatic transfers that happen the moment your paycheck lands, putting distance, psychological distance, between you and your accumulated resources without sacrificing liquidity when true needs arise. And listen closely. The banks are in competition for your business. They offer substantial sign-up bonuses that most people ignore. $200 here, $300 there for opening accounts with specific parameters. That's free money being left on the table because you've remained loyal to institutions that have shown no loyalty to you. Some of you have been with the same bank for 20 years while they've increased fees, decreased services, and paid you interest so low it's practically insulting to your intelligence. Your misplaced loyalty is costing you hundreds annually. The wealthy understand this principle. They don't just earn money. They position their resources to attract more resources. They create structures where money naturally flows toward more accumulation. They engineer their banking like a master architect designs a cathedral, with intention, with purpose, with a vision for the final outcome. You need accounts that serve specific purposes. You need automation that protects you from your momentary impulses. You need a system that works while you sleep, that accumulates while you live, that secures your future while you navigate your present. This isn't complex financial engineering. This is intentional design of your financial foundation. This is creating the soil in which your prosperity can take root and flourish beyond what you've previously imagined possible. The skill to service conversion, the awakening. There is treasure hidden within you that's been dormant, been overlooked, been undervalued. Skills you possess so naturally that you don't even recognize their worth in the marketplace. Abilities you take for granted, while others would pay for access to that very knowledge. I call these your valuable, obvious skills. Capabilities so ingrained in your daily life that you've become blind to their extraordinary nature. Some of you can organize spaces with an intuitive efficiency. Some of you can explain complex topics in simple language. Some of you can mediate conflicts with natural diplomacy. These aren't just personal traits. These are marketable services waiting to be activated. These are income streams concealed beneath your routine existence. 2 hours. That's all it takes. Just 2 hours of focused setup to transform these dormant skills into passive monetization opportunities. 2 hours to create a profile, to establish your service parameters, to position yourself where those seeking your specific expertise can find you. But you've been paralyzed by underpricing. You've been stalled by undervaluing your time. The marketplace doesn't pay for what you do, it pays for the problems you solve. That skill you think is worth $20 an hour might solve a problem worth $200 to the right client. The pricing strategy for maximum return isn't about hours worked. It's about value delivered. It's about transformation facilitated. It's about results created through your unique abilities. And listen carefully. I'm not sending you to those oversaturated mainstream platforms where you're competing with thousands offering the same service. There are specialized micro-platforms where your specific skills meet their perfect audience. There are niche marketplaces where your particular expertise isn't just another listing, it's a rare solution to a specific problem. The compounding effect of specialized micro-skills creates momentum over time. One satisfied client becomes 3 referrals. 3 referrals become consistent income. Consistent income becomes a foundation for expanded offerings. This isn't about hustling 24/7. This isn't about grinding yourself to exhaustion. This is about strategic positioning of skills you already possess. This is about creating systems where your knowledge generates income with minimal ongoing time investment. Some of you have been praying for financial breakthrough while sitting on gold mines of marketable skills. Some of you have been asking for doors to open while holding the keys in your own hands. Today is your awakening to the wealth potential that's been within your reach all along. There's a wisdom that's been tested across millennia, a philosophy that guided emperors and slaves alike through abundance and scarcity. I'm talking about the Stoic approach to resources that's more relevant today than perhaps at any other time in human history. The ancient Stoics understood something that our modern consumer culture has tried to make you forget: that the path to prosperity isn't through accumulation, but through discernment. It isn't through having more, but through wanting less. The dichotomy of control must be applied to every financial decision you make. Some elements are within your control: your spending choices, your saving habits, your income-generating activities. Other elements lie outside your control: market fluctuations, economic policies, unexpected emergencies. Wisdom knows the difference. Wisdom focuses energy where influence is possible. You must practice what the Stoics called negative visualization, the regular contemplation of what life would be like without the comforts you currently enjoy. This isn't morbid thinking. This is immunization against the disease of discontentment that drives financial ruin. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, if this were suddenly taken from me, how would it affect my happiness? This single question creates a shield against impulse spending that no budgeting app could ever match. The hedonic adaptation audit must become part of your financial practice. That new purchase that brings such excitement today will become your new normal by next month. That upgraded vehicle that makes your heart race will soon fade into the background of your awareness. Your brain is designed to adapt to new possessions, leaving you hunting for the next dopamine hit through spending. Some of you have been searching for fulfillment in purchases when fulfillment can only be found in purpose. Some of you have been trying to fill spiritual voids with material solutions. The Stoic understands that true wealth isn't measured by what you have, but by what you don't need. The Stoic recognizes that every purchase isn't just an exchange of money, but an exchange of the most precious resource of all, your life energy that was required to earn that money. Transform your spending impulses into wealth-building reflexes. When the urge to purchase arises, redirect that same energy into investment. When the desire for the new and shiny emerges, channel that motivation into creating rather than consuming. This isn't just philosophy. This is practical wisdom that aligns your financial behaviors with your deepest values. This creates meaningful prosperity that satisfies not just your material needs, but your spiritual hunger for a life well lived. The Stoics taught that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When you internalize this truth, your financial landscape will transform more dramatically than any income increase could ever achieve.